Today is May 18th. Welcome on in to Daily Cards Live here on ClaibsOnline.com, brought to you by Royal Banks of Missouri and Munganess St. Louis Acura. I'm Joe Roderick, joined alongside by Bob, Ramsey, and Rammer. It's been a couple days since you and I have been able to chat about the Cardinals and their recent games. But a few things have happened the last 2 days that I know you have been very happy with. One of those being Nolan Gorman getting a start against the lefty. And then Oscar Mercado getting called up yesterday with some of the injuries. Just another guy on the bench, but I know it's something you've called for the past few weeks.
Yeah, there's a lot of squawkers like us talking about baseball, radio, TV, podcast. It's really pretty simple stuff. Sometimes I think the Cardinals get in their own way. Some of the problem is not that the Cardinals don't know what they're doing. They've got a plan. They're professionals, but they get in trouble when they make declarations. We've talked about it before. And then they've got to change that declaration. It makes them look bad. This is all, I think, pretty simple stuff. You have a number of outfielders who are prospects. My word. Prospects, by definition, need to play. You want to play them in the big leagues. You want to play them in Memphis. You want to play them in Springfield. You're the ball club. You tell me. But nobody in their right mind believes prospects should sit on the bench. Right. That's been my whole thing about Mercado all along. I don't know what took him so long to get here. And in fact, I'm not sure they still agree with me. I think the only reason he's here is because of outfield injuries. You still got Burleson and Yepes at the big club not playing every day. That's wrong. If, here's the underlined if, you think they're still prospects. The Cardinals may have said they're not prospects anymore. Who cares if they sit on the bench? I don't think that's true, but that would be the only acceptable reason in my view.
They start their 4-game series against the Dodgers this evening, Thursday through Sunday series. By the way, lots of good giveaways all weekend long down at the ballpark as the Cardinals are celebrating the 2013 National League team. I haven't had a chance to yet, but yesterday Claibs was telling me to. He said you need to go look at the roster of this and look at who's coming back, because not a lot of guys are coming back. He said, but if you look at the roster, there's a lot of people that you're going to forget were on that team back in 2013, or maybe didn't realize were on that team in 2013. Yeah. So go and check that roster. No word if Big Papi is going to come in and ruin the whole weekend the same way he did that 2013 World Series.
Sure did. What an amazing player.
It was, and that was the Big Papi World Series. That's what that will be remembered as for forever. But they will celebrate them this weekend. The Yachty tumbler, the 2013 beer stein, and the golf umbrella with the Cardinal Hall of Famers on it. I will tell you. That is it's a really, really nice product, Rammer. I have seen it ahead of time, and it's a nice one that is also, I think, new. I believe this is the first year they're doing a golf umbrella like this as well. So cardinals.com/promotions is where you can find those tickets. They have announced the pitching matchups for this weekend. Julio Urias goes tonight, Rammer, against Adam Wainwright, who was pushed back a day. Mm-hmm. And so you get the lefty throwing tonight. Then you get Tony Gonsolin, who was an all-star last year. Remember, he's a righty, thankfully. And then you get Noah Syndergaard, who's with the Dodgers this year. And then Clayton Kershaw on Sunday. So 2 lefties this weekend. We do not have the lineups yet. Rammer, how many starts does Nolan Gorman get in the 4-game series against the Dodgers?
Should be 4. I think he'll at least.
I think Rammer paused for a second there. I think I lost the feed for that. So yeah, Rammer, I'm here. I will ask it again. In a 4-game series. Yeah, okay. 4-game series, 2 lefties starting for the Dodgers. How many games does Nolan Gorman start?
I'd play him every day, but I think he'll play 3 or 4.
Okay, which lefty does he start against?
Gets Sunday off.
Okay, I tell you what, Clayton Kershaw this year adds for his age right now and where he's been the last few years. Clayton Kershaw, it was no doubt before that he was going to Cooperstown, But Clayton Kershaw is making sure that if you had any doubts about him going to Cooperstown, that he's wiping all of those away with what he's been doing so far the first 2 months of this year.
Yeah. And by the way, I would be playing Gorman every day, but the question was, how you asked me, what do I think will happen? I think he'll play the first 3 games of the series and be out on Sunday. The Dodgers are a good club. Pitching's good. They took what I thought were a couple of gambles in letting some guys go, but you'd always rather go a year early than a year late. And they've recovered in their lineup pretty nicely. The kid Outman has done a really good job. I feel like the Dodgers, I don't get how and why they're relying on Jason Hayward so much offensively. Defensively, absolutely. He hit third one day recently. Yeah. I don't get it. The numbers don't back it up, but he's a good teammate and he's a tremendous outfielder. So I get why he's playing. The Dodgers are a good ball club.
28-16 coming in to this weekend. You mentioned some of the guys. They let Cody Bellinger walk away. They let Justin Turner go. They did have a few moves. Trey Turner also gone. He's in Philadelphia. A lot of that too. I mean, they let those guys walk. They expected Gavin Lux to be a big part of their season this year. He tears his ACL in spring training. That's something you can't account for, and you can't keep guys around thinking that there might be an injury of that capacity in spring training. So they have recovered from that for the most part, and they're still a very good ball club this year, but that's a huge piece of what they thought they were going to have that they just don't.
Yeah, and that's a hole in their lineup, but they're doing very well. Muncy had a slow start, but he's being Max Muncy again. Will Smith is terrific. Of course, everybody knows Freeman and Betts. They're getting contributions up and down the lineup. And they're a good ball club. You go and try and win every game, obviously. I think depending on how games are won and lost, you'll probably end up being relatively satisfied with a split. But, you go out, try and win every game and win every series.
Yeah, just for example, yesterday their lineup, you mentioned Jason Hayward. He was batting 5th for them yesterday. He's hitting 195 on the year, and he actually raised his average yesterday by going 1 for 3 in the game. But when you look at where they're really missing production and where they're hurting right now, I think you can look at somebody like Chris Taylor, a guy that can play all 7 positions around the field, and in recent years has contributed well and played a lot of games. 118 last year, 148 in 2021, 56 of the 60 in 2020. He had 221 last year, hitting 186 this season.
They still believe in him. Now, would they believe in him as much if Lux was there? Probably not. He's not playing every day, but he plays a lot. They still really count on him and believe in him. And, we'll see if he can recover. It's been a year, coming up on a year and a half without him not really hitting.
Yeah, that's so. When you have a guy that is that versatile and it's hitting that poorly, you've seen it with the Cardinals, where especially right now, I mean, the Cardinals are doing a really good job with all of the moving around, all the shuffling here lately, and some of the injuries. You've seen Brendan Donovan playing more outfield now, and you're seeing Tommy Edman play more outfield now, and that I think is more because of guys performing well. Paul DeJong has hit his way into this lineup and is giving himself all kinds of opportunities with it wasn't a game-winning home run yesterday, but he gave you a whole lot of breathing room in those final few innings and made it a lot easier on the bullpen to go out there in tense situations. And because of how well Paul DeJong is playing, he can only play shortstop. And you have 3 guys that are capable of playing second base. And luckily 2 of those guys can also play corner outfield positions.
Not to be nitpicky, but that's kind of what I do. I think he can play anywhere, but he's your best shortstop. Mm-hmm. That's the key. He's your best shortstop. So happy for him. I quite frankly given up on him. I thought the only way he could stay in the big leagues was as a utility guy. For those who are nerds like me to like to dive into old baseball reference stuff, I thought he was going to have a career like Ron Hansen, infielder that came up with the White Sox and had a huge year for them, and then was just sort of a bench guy, but he got like 12 years in the big leagues. I thought that was going to be where Paul was going, but right now it looks like he has figured out how to be a regular, everyday, winning big league shortstop, and I'm very happy for him. And obviously the team, it really, to your point, it really helps solidify things and allows some of the movement from other players.
We will have a recap of tonight's game at some point tomorrow and look ahead to what's on tap for the rest of the weekend. We'll also get you those bootleg and barbecue lineups for the Friday night game as well, and look at what else we have throughout the rest of the weekend. Central State Sandwiches, by the way, part of the bootleg and family, very close to being up and running, so much so that I believe this Sunday they will be making an appearance. The food truck will be making an appearance outside of the Glory Pro Wrestling show at South Broadway Athletic Club on a Sunday afternoon. So if you want some sandwiches before you go watch some independent local wrestling, it will be down there in the Soulard area at the South Broadway Athletic Club. That is the plan as of this taping right now, Rammer. I can tell you that. But Bootleg and Barbecue or Central State Sandwiches, two great sponsors here of Daily Cards Live. We will have a full recap of that game and look ahead, because I tell you what, you get 2 out of 2 this weekend, I'd be happy. That'd be fine with me. And then go and pick off the Reds, because if you look at the standings right now, they're still a game and a half back of the Reds. Slowly just start picking them off one by one. Just chase them down, grab them, pull them down below you, and just start doing that with everybody else in the standings above you for the next few months and make it a fun summer.
Well, I'm not real concerned about that till we get to 500, but you and I can look at the same equation from different angles, and the key is winning games. And if you win games, both of our goals will be accomplished.
Hey, you know what? You can't get to 500 without picking those teams off in front of you too. So let's get it. Let's get there one by one. Let's take both our routes and see what the Cardinals can make happen for the next couple months of the season. Hey, we are brought to you each and every day by Royal Banks, Missouri, and also Munganast St. Louis Acura. Rammer, Klebs and I were out at Munganast St. Louis Acura yesterday, and I will tell you this. They are not, they have no shortage of MDXs. You drive through that parking lot and it is one brand new MDX after the other. Great cars, one of the top of the line Acura cars that is there on the market right now, and they have brand new ones out there at 13720 Manchester Road. Check them out online too at stlouisacura.com. And also, Rammer, we're brought to you by our friends at Royal Banks.
Royal Banks of Missouri, where better service means better banking. Over 60 years in our market, and even extending to Northeast Missouri. 314-212-1500, Royal Banks of Missouri.
He is Bob Ramsey. I'm Joe Roderick. We will talk to you tomorrow on a Friday edition here of Daily Cards Live, brought to you by Royal Banks of Missouri and Munganast St. Louis Acura, right here on ClebsOnline.com.
Nobody wants a surprise in their jelly donut. That's because the middle is the most important part. At Graybar, we're at the middle of electrical and datacom jobs across the country, connecting installers, facility managers, and business owners with smart solutions for their most challenging projects, which means stocking and delivering crucial products on time and on budget, with no surprises, thanks to our nationwide logistics network. Yep, Graybar does that.
Who's this?